We've still got quite a way to go. And that would eat out sort of 8 hours out of my driving. £7. What a bargain. Where are we in the world actually? Let's just have a quick look where we are. Okay. Coming out of Metz, through Luxembourg, up to Lille, and then we're on the crossing. And we're in England. That's a very nondescript trailer he's got there. When you see trailers like that, where they're just plain, with no markings, most of the time, they've got something really expensive in the back. It's funny the way the psychology works. If they mark something really blandly, then you don't really give it much of a look. If they was to paint that up and say, you know, Sony audio equipment, people would just raid the back of the trailer. So you know when it's plain like that, there's something good in the back really. It's highly unlikely to be just a load of empty boxes. So we're getting off again. Taking the A31 to Luxembourg. That moon, we've been driving towards the moon for most of the night. Let's see if we can, I don't need to move over, do I? Stay in this lane, I think. We've got 6 hours of driving before I have to rest. I'm going to push on, I think. Although I think I might just... Let's just see, that needs to be there between 7:30 today, 7:30 PM, and 2 AM tomorrow. Uh-oh. I'm going to move 2 lanes over because I know what the AI is about to do. Yep. So I'm wondering if, you know, I've got 6 hours before I need to rest, so I'm thinking, what if I was to drive a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours, and then rest? That would make it midday-ish. Wow, that car. He's not messing around, is he? It would make it midday-ish. I'm trying to get some daytime driving in because, you know, at night, it's all very well driving at night, but the problem is I can't look at the wonderful scenery that's in this game. And that in itself can be entertaining. Imagine the amount of modelling they had to do to build all of this, to build Europe like this. I mean, obviously it's not all of Europe at all, but there's still quite a bit of modelling has been done. Quite a lot of roads, quite a lot of, you know... They would need some decent tools to be able to construct a world like this in a reasonable amount of time. There's quite a lot of detail when you look, and each city has its own unique kind of historic buildings from that place, so they've had to look at every city. The interesting thing is, of course, they can take that map of Europe and they can build other games off the back of it. You know, so if they did a European coach simulator, they could probably just use the same world, just modify it. But I kind of get the feeling what they'd be better off doing, and I don't know if SCS watch these videos, but you know, what they should do is start off with a kind of, you know, start off with your map of Europe and your basic simulator, and then introduce DLC to give us more things you can drive. So obviously one set of mods would be, one set of DLC would be for trucks. You know, you could have 18-wheel trucks or something. I'm not saying you put that in the European map, but it's just an example. And then you can have coaching DLC, so you could bring coaches into the game. You could even have other kinds of buses. Then you could have motorcycles for doing courier. Because essentially, you know, you can be moving cargo around, but the cargo can change, you know. I mean, just because we're taking heavy cargo around doesn't mean to say you can't pick up people as cargo, which is what coaches do, or pick up mail, which, you know, expedited mail, which is what couriers do. Or you could even have just, you know, vans. You could have transit vans which are doing more localized deliveries, but they could use the world and make it a sim of all kinds of delivery effectively. Just gonna have a look at the map for a second, see where I am. So just wondering where, I'm just trying to plan out where I should stop actually. I'm just going up the A4 and we can take a rest here or here maybe. Once we get to Lille, we're not far off. Okay, I think what we'll do is when we change onto the A15 and to the A7, so after the second motorway change, then we'll stop there. That's a plan. It's always good to have a plan. I wish this thing steered properly. That's my only complaint so far, and that's not down to this truck. That's down to the physics mod. I don't know what it does, but it doesn't work properly sometimes on some trucks, and just make it kind of awkward for me. When I go around bends, I expect the truck to behave differently and suddenly end up slamming into a crash barrier, as you've already seen. Need to slow down a little bit. Gearbox is doing crazy stuff. Look at all the... This is ridiculous. The game just picks something else besides all these sports trailers. It's just making mine look so nonsense. Look, it's like 2 over there. That's like 5 within the 100 yards. Seriously? All that sports trailer does is replace the existing sports trailer pack already, and there's only one of them. So why does it keep coming up again and again? The game has, you know, tens if not hundreds of trailer types it can use. Something wrong with the randomization in this game for sure. Okay, more fun and games. I'm going to take it a bit slower because the turning doesn't work so well. No, don't you dare. Don't you do it. Oh, you bastard. Thanks a lot, mate. All the momentum's just gone. And you consider the size of my engine. I bet I've got a lot more pulling power than he has, even with all the weight on the back. Not that that's modelled by the AI, I don't think. I think all of the cars and stuff just, you know, they're on rails effectively. The AI just moves them around. It doesn't consider the weight or acceleration, which is a bit of a shame. It should do some rudimentary stuff, I think. As I've observed before, it'd be nice if the different cars behaved differently. Not just with the driver, you know, not just with the AI driver behaving differently, but even the cars themselves, you know, in terms of the top speed and the pulling power, the way they behave, just to make it more real, just to give it more variance. And I don't think it's too hard to do. And they could even allow people to write their own mods, and that's where this game really needs to go. It's a funny thing, but if you make a game moddable, it increases the sales a lot, and it also gives life to the game over a much longer period of time than it would otherwise have. If this was just a sealed off, you know, boxed game, it wouldn't be doing as well as it is now, because of the modding community are basically making this game really fun, really interesting, and doing things that the developers just don't have time to do. I mean, they're even making maps for this game now, you know, extending the world. It's crazy. But they need to go further, I think. Oh, come on, no. Turn, you stupid thing. They need to go further with the modding. Because at the moment it's all definition files, models and data and parameters, but let's go a bit further. Let's bring in some either some coding or some scripting, either some Java coding or drop a scripting engine in there. JavaScript engine maybe. You need something so that people can write logic. Now if the modders can then take something like the AI cars and write new logic for it so that it behaves differently and it operates differently, effectively to you and me, the cars think differently, behave differently, the game will explode. I mean, there were so many things people would write for it. They need to take the same view as something like Armour. You know, Armour, the game that DayZ mod was built on. You know, DayZ wouldn't be here today, pretty much, if it wasn't for Armour. And imagine what people would write for this game if they made it scriptable, even 20% as scriptable as Armour is. You know, so we can put different textures in there, different models, you know, new models, new maps. We could script things, script events. I mean, that's what Armour's all about, is making mission files. So you can script events, so you can be driving down here, it triggers something in the game, runs a load of scripts. You know, it could spawn a disaster ahead of us. We could be coming down here now, and we suddenly see an accident in front of us, and chaos reigns, and all these ambulances and police start turning up, and then they shut the lane off, and we've got to drive down one lane. You know, there's all kinds of crazy stuff we could put in if they gave us the power to do it. There's so many good modders out there that would jump all over that. I don't know. I just think that SCS, they've got something on their hands here. They don't realise what they've got. They've got the basis of something really cool, and instead I think they're taking the approach of, oh, we'll go off and develop Coach Simulator, or we'll go and do American Truck Simulator. Well, yeah, that's great, but they're all separate games. What you need is one cohesive game. Then start bringing your multiplayer in, as well as your scripting. Then you've got the basis of something really good. We'll just have one game with DLC and mods for different kinds of vehicles. Hell, you could even give people a flight sim in here and they could fly planes over the top of our heads. I mean, there's just no limit to what you could do. That was an awful bend it just put me through then, like a really tight S-bend. At the same time as that car gave me a right nightmare time, because he was right down the side of me. Didn't expect that at all. Let's just check how far we've got. Next rest stop in 3 hours. I'm going to move over here. Actually, dawn's starting to break now, so I'm going to push on. Where are we on? 90 kilometers. Don't want any more speeding tickets, thank you. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they should do that? Make this game scriptable like Armour? I do. But not like the scripting that Armour has, because the scripting that Armour currently has is awful. It's horrendous. It's like a proprietary script that's just bloody rubbish, quite frankly. And it doesn't compile either, so it interprets all of it. But Bohemia are moving Armour towards a compiled script. They're using Java. So you'll be able to write proper code and it will properly compile it and it will run at really good speeds. There's a bright future for that stuff. And that's where this game needs to go, I think. Well, maybe not this one, but, you know, another game to come from SCS. I hope they do it, I really do. This kind of game can succeed big time. People love modding trucks. I mean, they love pimping trucks out. Just like they love modding cars and pimping cars out. And they could have that in here. They could have cars, trucks, motorbikes. In fact, you could even pick your own... You could even pick how you want to deliver something. So you might run a company that is a transport company, and you'll buy motorbikes, and you'll buy trucks, and you'll buy coaches, and you'll build a transport empire. You know, a bit like what Eddie Stobart does in the UK. You know, they've got... It started off with just trucks and stuff. Recently they started getting into freight, like rail, so now they've got their own rail rolling stock that they move freight around on. Now they're starting to get into biofuels, so the trailers are picking up chipped wood and taking it to factories to burn and all this kind of thing. And then they've bought Stansted Airport, which is an airport in the southeast of England. They've bought that, and they're getting into the whole airline business. So the planes are landed there now, and they're taxing them for landing, taxing them for taking off. You know, they're really getting to transport, but not just of goods, but of people. And they should follow the same suit in this game. So far I've only had one speeding ticket. 2 hours till I need to rest. I am going to have to pick a rest stop soon. Although we are coming up on Calais. So I may have to rest on the other side, perversely. I can't get to London in one go. Speed camera. There we go. I can see the on the map now. I can see the terminal. Yeah, I may have to rest on the other side just before I head up to London. I know some people just turn this whole fatigue thing off in the game, which is fine. I mean, you can play a sim however you want, really. You know, you select your own level of detail when you play a sim. I would disagree if it was an online game. If it's an online game, everybody should be subject to the same rule when you're on the same server. But if you're offline like this, play a sim how you want. And some people turn off the whole fatigue thing, but I like leaving it on. Otherwise, it just feels unrealistic to allow me to drive forever. You know, to drive from one part of Europe to the other without resting. Just doesn't sit well with me. So I choose to have this stuff on. Lights off. Got plenty of light now. Tunnel La Manche. Tunnel sous La Manche. That's tunnels to the... what's Manche? Tunnels to the sea? No, that's not sea, is it? Tunnels to the... oh, come on people, what's Manche? M-A-N-C-H-E. Oh, that's obvious. It's going to be tunnels to the boats or the sea or something like that. There we go. I have to take it quite easy just because the turning on this truck. That's okay. So they should put a rest stop here. I'm very, very surprised there is no rest stop here. It would make perfect sense for there to be one. Okay, where are we going here? Not that one. This one will do. Oh, you're not going, I'm going first, pal. You can wait. What are the odds of one car turning up and wanting to go down the same ramp? That's good clearance. I even stuck within the white line. Well, my trailer did. To slow down. Don't want to smash the front of the truck. Yeah, first priority when I get off to the side is to find a rest stop. There we go. Calais to Folkestone. 35 minutes, £240. Very short trip. 6:48 AM. Let's have a quick look at that map. Work out where the rest stop is. I can always just go there, can't I? I was thinking I might have to go straight into Dover to get it, but there's no point. I would just go around there and get that. Look how far we're going to be from London. That's just absurd. In fact, I can drive for 2 hours and I don't need to rest. Look, next rest stop in 2 hours 11 minutes, and we're only 2 hours 20 away, and I'm sure I can make up a little bit of time, and it allows you a little bit more before you get fined anyway, so I think we're just going to push on. Go for broke, as they say. Must remember to drive on the left, as I am now in the UK. Until you see the first cars, you sometimes forget, as demonstrated a while ago when I went from the UK back into Europe and ended up driving on the left hand side of the road. And then I saw some vehicles and thought, uh-oh. But once you see some vehicles, it's immediately obvious. There we go. So we're doing a bit of a U-turn, to be honest. Come on, pal. Get your Range Rover out the way. They had the foresight to cut those corners off there, which is nice. You don't need to swing out quite so much. I actually thought that he was going to sit there then, but he didn't. He actually pulled out. I was surprised by that. I was expecting to overtake the guy. This is the kind of truck you don't see in the UK very often. Like, you might see it at some trucking festivals, but pretty much you'll never see a truck like this driving around pulling freight. It's a nice day in the UK anyway. Well, it is so far. We are on the A20. I'm going to move over here because, quite frankly, he's in the wrong lane for that speed. Now he's decided to move over. Yeah, I've said this before, you see that crane on the back? I really want the game to allow you to operate that as part of your delivery. So instead of having to reverse a trailer like that into a specific position to make the delivery, you've just got to pull up somewhere in a bay area, or rather, not even that, thinking about it. It basically marks an area on the map where you've got to deliver the cargo into. So you pull up next to it, wherever you like, get in the crane and, you know, pick up the giant pallets of whatever it is and put them inside the square, and if you drop them inside the designated area, then you're delivered. That's it. How cool's that? Again, just another cool thing they could put in the game. Not used to that being so clear. You can definitely see the crash barriers there, can't you? It's a bit weird that they're lit up at night. In the day, they should only be lit up at night. Okay, we're on the road to London and my fuel is extremely low, as I've just realised. I'm very surprised by that because I expected the range on this truck to be quite big. And it seems it's not that big. I've just noticed the... I'm going to run out of fuel if I'm not careful. Bugger. Is there a fuel stop? Yes, I'm going to have to stop for fuel. I just noticed the icon above the, next to the, you know, above the mini GPS map there on the right. So that implies that this truck has as much fuel as my Scania, as in about 50% of what you normally have. It just makes some sense, I mean, considering the axles on the back, but... Oh, overshot. I have to knock this sign down, I'm afraid. The sign bought it. There's no way I'm driving down the wrong lane, put it that way. And I'm not reversing. The thing is about this game is if I, you know, unlike real life, if I did that and I wanted to reverse, I could just get out and say to the drivers behind me, you need to move back a little bit, I'm going to have to reverse. In this game, if I start reversing, my lights come on and then all the cars behind me just sit there like, yeah, so, we're not moving, don't give a fuck. And then you drive into them and they charge you for it. It's slightly annoying. Can't control the environment in any way. What's that over there? A little sort of, what do they call them? A little, well, it's a church, isn't it? I wonder what it was. I could only see the peak of it. 4,400 from Georgia. That's not bad. Not bad at all. It's helping the coffers. I think I get paid, is it 30k for this job? Yep, 30k. I've had a £400 fine. I've got to fill up. That's going to take about a few hundred quid, I think. Yeah, I already filled up before, didn't I? Wow. Wow, thinking about it, the fuel economy, I didn't go that far. And I filled up not long after I set out. Do you see that guy pull in then? That was ridiculous. I want to go this way. I'm thinking the fuel economy of this truck is terrible. That's what I'm thinking. Not that the fuel tank is really small. We're about to find out how big the fuel tank really is. £1.27 for diesel. Slightly less than it is in the UK right now. Look at that, 300 litres. That is the smallest. Oh my god, that is really small. Really, really small. Does that... Surely to God, this truck does not have a fuel tank that size on it. Considering what it's built for, that would be absurd. Well, that's what's causing the problem anyway. Speaking of problems, we have the AI driving problem. Sorry, pal. That's just the way it is. Okay, we got 1 hour and 14 to get there and 1 hour of driving left. It's not looking good right now. Need to floor it. These lanes here where they go like they call them slow lanes. I don't know if they have them in America and Canada, but they have them in the UK. They have them most often. I know it just moved out into 3 lanes on the motorway, but it just triggered my memory. Quite often when they have steep slopes, they'll have a slow lane. What's the speed limit here? 60, we're in miles per hour, so that's good. And they have a slow lane for trucks, so they go in the sort of far left lane and crawl up the hills, and all the cars can speed past them. I don't know, do they have them? I assume they do. Sounds like a fairly universal thing. This could be a mock of the Dartford Crossing, I'm not sure. Dartford Crossing doesn't really look like this though. If it was the Dartford Crossing, it wouldn't be a 60 mile per hour limit, it would be 50. It's 50 across the bridge. The Dartford Crossing, by the way, is something that goes... It's east of London, and it crosses over the Thames estuary. And it's basically a bridge and a tunnel. And so what they do is they have traffic going south goes over the bridge, which has, I think, 3 or 4 lanes. 4 lanes, I think. And then the traffic that comes north goes in the tunnels. And they have 2 tunnels, each with 2 lanes. Now, they used to only have the tunnels, I think, and it was called the Dartford Tunnel. But then they built the bridge. So then just called it the Dartford Crossing, and you basically go through one or the other. So they got 4 lanes north and 4 lanes south. They had to do that for the sheer volume of traffic that was coming over. And even now, if you go there, you know, Friday sort of tea time-ish, rush hour, you know, you'll get stuck in traffic. Damn it, we've got another 30 mile an hour speed limit here. I think I'm going to get a sleeping fine. I think it's fairly inevitable. I can't go any faster now. 20 minutes to get there. Oh no, we've pulled some time back. It might be okay. Pulled some time back. At the moment we're on course. I've just got to watch out for speed cameras. We're still 30 miles an hour speed limit, and I'm starting to break the speed limit now. So I've got to watch for those Gatso. That's quite a nice little farm building though. I wonder if that's a delivery point. I bet it's not, and it should be. Again, more interesting delivery points is what's needed. Let the community develop them though. That's the thing. What they should do at SCS is basically allow people to send in stuff, and the best stuff just makes it into the game. As long as the mod author's willing to just release the rights for it, fine. But then we could just have people building the game, and the best stuff goes in, it gets voted in. And then, you know, SCS is still getting sales of the game. But what we then have is a community that's building some amazing stuff. Stuff that SCS doesn't have the time or resources to do. We've got speed camera, which I spotted. See, I'm used to spotting the UK ones. It's the bloody European ones I have a problem with. I don't have the muscle rather the memory for it. I don't have the memory triggers. I don't recognise them and think, aha, that's a speed camera. Well, this is allegedly London. At the docks, at the Docklands maybe? Not sure at the moment. I see a delivery point in sight, which is good because I'm almost about to get fined. Come on. That looks like a Golf in front of me. A Volvo to the left. I need some luck here. I need to get through some lights quickly. Come on, move it, pal, move it. Let me get over these lights. Don't screw me. Look at that car waiting there. What bugs me about those no entry signs, if you drive over to them, you bounce off them. They're like an invisible wall, basically. I find that slightly annoying. Left turn. Even when I deliver this, I still got to then go over to the rest stop, so I could still end up with a fine after I make the drop off. There's a rest stop there. I could just pull in and get a rest, to be honest. A Volvo. It's the main Volvo dealer in London there. Let's make the drop, I think. Push on. Whoa, dude, what are you doing? I wonder if in the coach simulator game that they're going to make, I wonder if you'd be able to take loads of old people to the seaside. Or loads of school kids. Imagine taking school kids, what a nightmare. You'd have them all in the back causing trouble. Throwing bits of paper. I think this is my drop off, but since it can't be bothered to show me right now, there we go. There we go. Oh, it's not turning again. Come on, what the hell? It's a steering ratio problem, I think. No, we're going to park this one. We're not going to skip it. Mostly because it looks kind of fun. Not sure why we're bringing sports cars to this place, but there you go. Can't quite see if we've got the right angle yet. Straighten her up, I think. I got my guy yawning. As if you'd be yawning while you're dropping off. As if you'd be like, I'm just reversing my trailer. It's so boring. There we go. Job's delivered. Look at all those bonuses. 30 grand. Minus expenses, of course. We'll take that. Let's get over to the rest point. Bye bye, sports cars. I guarantee I'm going to get fined. But just before I make it to the rest point. Sod's law. It will happen. Whoa, over there. Where's the nearest one? Left turn? I can't see if that's a rest point or not. Is it left and right maybe? I think that's a rest point because it's a garage and it's not my garage, so I can't rest there. It's not going to give me many more warnings before I get slapped with a fine, I can guarantee you that. Come on, let's go. Don't want a speeding ticket. That's not a speeding ticket? I don't want a red light ticket. This realistic physics doesn't work that well with this truck. It's not loving it. Get some weird things happening, especially when you mount curbs. The truck bounces like crazy. Yeah, I think we're going to park up here. Oh look, what's outside? Look at that! What are the odds? That's hilarious. And it's the same pattern. Oh my god. What are the odds of that? That's ridiculous. Brilliant. Two trucks next to each other. Damn right we're getting some rest. And it's suddenly beautiful weather. Don't need the wipers anymore. Well guys, that brings us to the end of that episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed watching the Peterbilt in action. Maybe you want to try it yourself. Maybe try a different skin pack. Links will be in the video so that you can go on video description so that you can go and download it for yourself. But until the next episode, take care guys. And happy trucking.